What is the deal, guys? It is your boy Ju. We are back here with another video. And if you guys haven't noticed already, the quality of the camera may look a little different. I actually got rid of one of my older cameras that I was using for a very long time, probably 3 or 4 years now, and I just decided to kind of upgrade that one camera. So let me know what you guys think. You know, how's the quality looking? Can I improve anything? Let me know in the comments down below. Other than that though, what we are getting into today, we're actually going to be working on my 370Z. You guys can already see that I have my bumper off. I have this thing over here, and what I am actually going to be doing is a couple things. The first thing that I actually chose to do was I changed out my fuel pressure, I guess like regulator. So previously I actually had a sensor on there. I had a sensor that was threaded in, and then I had something plugged into that. But when I was talking to my tuner, he was telling me that on the ECU he couldn't see a reading of the fuel pressure. So I was like, that's kind of weird. You know, it's a sensor. Granted, I think it was an eBay sensor, so it probably would make sense that it wasn't reading right. So I just decided to go ahead and buy like a manual gauge, I guess you would call it, and just screw it in to see if we get fuel pressure. So I'll throw that video on the screen that we are getting fuel pressure. I do need to go ahead and adjust it though. For instance, I think you can see on the video, it goes up to like 40 PSI of fuel pressure, which is good that it stays up there, but it's not high enough. I think we need about like 60 or so. So that's later on the agenda. That should be pretty easy. But the next thing that we have to do, the 370 is actually like perfect fitment wise, but this side, the driver's side, for whatever reason is a little bit lower for whatever reason. So I'm actually gonna raise this side probably by like at least 5 or 8 threads. If I walk over here, you guys can see that this side is still low, but it does have like that little bit of clearance that kind of, you know, gives me that cushion when I go over bumps or whatever in the front. But this side, on the other hand, man, this thing is super slammed. Can barely get in my, get my hand in here, kind of gets caught. So raise it up a couple threads on this side. I think that should figure that out. And the last thing, you guys can probably see that there's like a leak at the bottom there. And what that is actually not an oil leak. I don't know if you guys remember a couple videos back where I was messing with my power steering. There's like fittings on the power steering rack and they're AN lines, and they're actually leaking, not even from the line exactly, but let me show you. So here, actually, this is for instance, so this is a line, right? For instance, it's not leaking from the line at all. It's actually leaking like through here, through the back of the fitting. So what I think my consensus is that the fitting on there is actually bad. So I went ahead and went to Amazon and bought some new fittings from Evil Energy. They actually make pretty good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace those, and we should be good to go. So that way I could remove the cardboard underneath, and yeah, everything shouldn't have to do that anymore and have any cardboard. So that's kind of my my little plans for today. My boy Davion was supposed to pull up on me, but I guess he either fell asleep or whatever, because he's not answering my texts or calls. So I guess we'll just see what else happens in this video. But again, let me know how the camera quality is now. This is a newer camera, a lot better than my G7X. So I'm really excited to see how the video is going to turn out and everything like that. So let me know in the comments down below. And real quick, guys, before this video actually starts, man, I do got to give a huge shout out to my boy Davion. You guys know my birthday just passed, and this fool actually gave me a brand new Koyorad oil cooler. So you guys know I don't have an oil cooler at all on my 350 right now. Sorry about the noise right there, but I don't have an oil cooler on this car. So it is definitely needed, very much so, living out here in SoCal. It gets pretty hot. This oil cooler is a bit small, so I know there's gonna be some people in the comment section saying something about that, but this should be just good enough for now. I did already have like a little sandwich plate, so that came in handy, and then I do have lines. I need to order a few more fittings for that, but that came in super clutch. Also, you guys know that this was my old, I guess like turbo blanket, right? Turbo blanket looks fine, right? When you're looking at it, okay, it looks good. When you turn this thing around, bro, it is really burnt and beat up. So he also ended up giving me a brand new turbo blanket. So again, shout out to my boy Davion, man, for my birthday. That was super thoughtful, man, and very much appreciated, very much appreciated. So I had to give him his props real quick. Nonetheless though, got the 370Z up in the air right now. So what I think I'm gonna do first, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and take off this wheel and adjust the coilover, just while I'm thinking about it, and that's honestly the easiest thing to do. The next thing after that is to clean up under here and basically just, yeah, replace the fittings. I do have both fittings in, so that'll probably be the next thing. And then honestly, after that, the last thing is, man, the wiring, bro. I really got to get this wiring down so we can get this thing turned on. So let me go ahead and get working, and then I'll check back in with you guys a little bit later. All right, there's probably about 1 million coilover videos on the internet, but if you don't know how to adjust your coilovers while they're on the car, you actually do not need to remove this bolt down here. You can just leave everything on, loosen the bottom screw, locking screw, I guess I'll call it. Once you have that loose, you can actually spin this one from the bottom if you're trying to raise your car. And if you're trying to lower your car, you can do the opposite with the top one, and then you'll see this whole thing move. It's a little bit different because it's easier when you do loosen the bottom one. When you're spinning this entire shaft, you can kind of like reference this as the front. So when that goes full circle, that's like one turn, right? When you're doing it this way, you don't really know. You're kind of just guessing, but it is a lot quicker. So if you had to do this again, it wouldn't really hurt. So I spun it a few times, got it a bit higher. So I'm going to put everything back on and then, you know, lower the car down eventually. And we'll just kind of see what the car looks like from there. But now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to move on and do my power steering. So with the wheel off, it's actually really easy. You can see right in here where my two lines are, my two fittings. So I'm going to loosen those, and we are going to be replacing those with again, a new fitting. All right, guys, so a little update. This is the fitting that I feel like went bad. So where it was leaking, because basically the hose comes out of this side, it was actually leaking like from like right here. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it was leaking from like right in there, that area. So what I decided to do, I went on Amazon, as I told you, and I ordered two different sizes, -6 and -8, because I didn't know which one it is. So just found out that it is -6, so I can return those. But basically, this is pretty much the same thing. So this is the part, actually, it would go like this. So this is the part that would screw into the rack, just like that one. And then instead of having like a line, like a hose coming off of it, the hose would actually just slide onto here, and you would clamp it down using, you know, some type of clamps. So the only thing I don't have is actually clamps. So I need to go to the store, get the appropriate size. But I went ahead and did one for right now. So I will try to show you guys that really quick. So I have it off right here. How well you guys can see, but yeah, I got it on there. So I need to go ahead and clamp it down with a hose. And then we should be good to go after that. And then, you know, this side will just thread on like normal. The last one is right there. So I need to go ahead and take that off. And the white stuff that you see is actually like some thread sealant, because I thought it was leaking from the threads. So what I used was something like this. It's called thread sealant, Permatex. And yeah, it wasn't leaking from there. So gonna go ahead and clean those threads up, screw everything back in, and we should be good to go. But I do need to make a trip to the store real quick. Just wanted to kind of update you guys on my mess of stuff that I have going on right now. Another thing that I thought was super funny, shout out to my boy Osper, man. You guys see the fit right now, bro. And it looks kind of crazy, but trust me, bro, when you're working on your car, you're on the ground, getting all dirty and stuff like that, this thing comes in handy, man. Like my actual clothes that are underneath of this aren't gonna get dirty at all, so it's really cool. So again, shout out to you, bro. He actually ended up giving me this one and another one. I haven't tried on the other one, so I don't even know if it'll fit, but I'm definitely gonna be using this. And I don't know right now, but in San Diego, there's like a bunch of little gnats and stuff like that. So this kind of helps that it's like long sleeve and that it has pants. So shout out to you, bro. Appreciate that. All right, guys, a little bit later in the video, I had to actually make a store run because I needed some clamps, as I was saying earlier. So these are the ones that I'm going to be using. You can see that there's like no holes in them at the bottom. And you want to make sure you stay away from these, because when you tighten these, yes, they get super tight, but these holes actually kind of like dig into the line, you know, whatever line it is, whether it's AN or like a regular hose, they just really start to dig in. So I opted into getting these. I'm hoping that this is the right size because I didn't take a line to the store when I went. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw these on, and then if they are, I'll slap everything together, and then we should be good to go with this little project right here. All right, guys, this is the last update. I got both of the clamps on there, as you guys can see. Everything is fully clamped down. So now comes the fun part. Go ahead and put everything back and we should be in business. I actually think I like this setup a little bit more. It's just a little bit easier as far as maintenance and whatnot. So if this ever failed again, it's not too hard to just take off the fitting and pull it out the hose and just, add a new one. So I think I'm gonna like this a lot more. So this should solve my power steering leaking issue, because that was pretty annoying. And I went through a whole bottle of power steering fluid. So pretty crazy. Okay, good news guys, I am finished. Let me turn this light on and show you guys under here. So I have the new fittings on, everything is tight, and yeah, nothing seems to be leaking as of yet. I didn't refill the fluid right now just because I actually wasn't aware, but you aren't supposed to use regular power steering fluid on these cars. They actually call for Dextron 6, I believe it is, automatic transmission fluid. I guess like regular power steering fluid has like some type of velocity or whatever in there that is bad for the rack. So I actually had regular power steering fluid in there before, and that's actually what all leaked out. So I guess it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, so that way my rack doesn't go out. And also I'm assuming the automatic transmission fluid is a little bit thicker, so it probably would help as far as like maybe the leaks, I don't know. But yeah, so I need to go ahead and go to the store, fill up that. But yeah, we are pretty much done with that little bit of project. All right guys, the last thing I went ahead and did, you guys see I have the jack right there. So you guys know that this side, for whatever reason, was higher, or actually, excuse me, it was lower than anything else. So I went ahead and raised it a couple times, and I think I got it to a good point. It still is a bit lower than I'd like, but I think it will be good for now. So I'm gonna leave it where it's at. And honestly, if that side doesn't rub, I'll probably match this side to that one. Because like I said, that one is still a little bit lower, I can tell, but I don't think it'll be a problem. I was like looking at like clearance and everything, and I think we should be okay for both sides. So I think I'm gonna leave it kind of where it's at. Fitment is as best as I can get it. I don't see any leaks as of right now, and I'll add some fluid tomorrow and I will update you guys later. Good news, boys and girls. I have added some automatic transmission fluid to the 370, and we do not have any leaks at all. So that is great news that we don't have any leaks. I did decide to go ahead and put the bumper back on, and I just wanted to see clearance and everything like that. And yeah, like I mentioned, as far as suspension wise, this side was always pretty much perfect. I can fit my hand in there really good, but the other side was just a little bit tighter than I'd like it to, but I don't think it'll rub. So I think we should be in good standing. I want to give a shout out to everybody watching the videos, man. I really do appreciate you guys for following up on this car. And I know it feels like it's been a long time in the process, but I'm just really big on like doing everything myself. I really want to be able to get this car going and not have to take it to a shop as far as like the little issues I'm having. So this week is the week that I'm going to be stressing the fact to get this car running. I want to really try to get spark to my coil packs so I can get this thing running. Now that I've verified that I do have fuel pressure, I want to go ahead and get spark, and then once I have spark fuel, boom, car turns on. So this week should be the week, man. I'm gonna try to push for that. If you guys can leave me some motivational stuff in the comments, I really would appreciate that. Other than that, we will be rolling out with the videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Do not miss, hit that bell, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out.